Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going deep on something that happens behind the scenes in every hospital. It's not just about procedures, it's about practice. It's about a full-on rehearsal for reality, and how that practice is what turns total chaos into a calm, life-saving response when things go wrong. So, just for a second, picture it. You're walking down a hospital hallway, everything's pretty quiet, you hear the normal beeps and hums, and then, all of a sudden, a voice comes over the loudspeaker. It's urgent, but it's also really controlled. What happens in that exact moment? What does everyone do? Well, the answer to that question can literally be the difference between life and death. And then you hear it. Code blue, room 304. Code blue, room 304. It's like a switch is flipped. Almost out of nowhere, this team just appears. You've got doctors, nurses, specialists, all moving towards that room like they've done it 1,000 times. Carts are rolling, voices are calling out clear instructions. It's like watching controlled chaos unfold. But what if I told you the patient in that room wasn't actually in distress? That this whole intense, high-stakes scene was just a rehearsal? That's right. It was a test. And that brings us right to the heart of today's explainer, the mock drill. So what is a mock drill exactly? Think of it as a dress rehearsal for the worst day possible. It's a planned, totally simulated crisis. It could be a fire, a major security breach, or that code blue we just talked about. The whole point is to test every single part of the hospital's emergency plan before a real life is on the line. Now, it's easy to just say, oh, practice makes perfect, right? But this goes so much deeper. This is about taking that natural human instinct to panic in a crisis and completely rewiring it into a calm, practiced, and effective response. You're basically building muscle memory for an emergency. And the reasons for doing this are, well, they're critical. First, you've got to make sure that plan that looks so great on paper actually works in the messy real world. You need to know your staff is ready to go. But, maybe the most important reason is to find the weak spots, to find those gaps in communication or those missing resources before a real emergency brutally exposes them for you. And yeah, it helps with national safety standards, but ultimately, it's all about keeping people safe. And this quote right here, it gets to the human element of all this. This isn't just about checking off a box for compliance. It's about building confidence. When people have practiced, when they know their role, when they trust the person next to them, panic just doesn't have as much room to grow. And in a hospital, that confidence is what saves lives. Simple as that. So what kinds of emergencies are we actually talking about here? It's not like a hospital can just practice for one thing and call it a day. No way. They need a whole playbook, a whole library of different crises that they're ready to handle. That's how you build real comprehensive preparedness. This chart gives you a pretty good idea of the range. We've all been through fire drills, and we talked about a code blue. But think about something like a disaster drill. That's for a massive event, like a plane crash or a natural disaster, where the hospital has to figure out how to handle a sudden, huge wave of patients. Each one of these drills tests a totally different set of skills and a different part of the plan. Okay, so these drills aren't just about setting off an alarm and seeing what happens. That would be chaos. Instead, they follow a really structured, really deliberate process. It's a 4-step cycle, and it's designed for one thing and one thing only: learning. And here's the whole life cycle in a nutshell. It's 4 key phases: planning, execution, debrief, and action. Let's just walk through each one really quick. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with a good plan. Before the drill even begins, the organizers decide exactly what they want to test. Is it the response time of the cardiac team? Is it how quickly they can evacuate a specific wing? You have to know what success looks like before you can measure it. Then comes the execution. This is the show. This is when the drill goes live. And while the team is responding, you have observers with clipboards, or more likely tablets these days, and they are documenting everything. How long did that take? Was the communication clear? Did they follow the protocol? Every single detail gets noted. And right after the drill ends, you have the debrief. Honestly, this is probably the most important part of the whole process. Everybody who was involved gets into a room and talks about what went well and, more importantly, what didn't. The goal here is zero blame, 100% focus on just getting better. And finally, you get to action. All those great insights from the debrief, They get turned into a concrete to-do list. Maybe it's updating a policy, maybe it's ordering new equipment, or maybe it's running more training for a specific team. This is the step that makes sure the drill actually leads to real, lasting change. Which brings us to a really important point. The real magic of a mock drill doesn't happen during the drill itself. It happens after. It's in the learning. It's how you build a real, living, breathing culture of safety that runs through every single department on every single shift. So how do you actually build that culture? Well, you rotate the scenarios so people don't get bored of the same old fire drill. You make sure to involve everyone, especially the night shift, because they face totally different challenges. You make the drill as realistic as possible. And, critically, you share the results with everyone. When the whole team knows what was learned, the whole team gets stronger. So if you're going to take away 3 things from this, let it be these. 1. Mock drills are absolutely essential to prove that an emergency plan is more than just words on a page. 2. They are the single best way to build staff confidence and push panic out of the equation. And 3. These drills are a fundamental pillar of hospital safety, period. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. Any hospital can run a drill and check a box on a form, but is its culture actually prepared for a crisis? Is the goal just to be compliant? Or is the goal to build a place where every single person is confident, prepared, and ready to do the right thing when every second counts?